Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this quick lesson today, we are going to look at legal English collocations used to describe criminal law procedures before a criminal trial. Welcome back to my Study Legal English YouTube channel. I'm Louise and I'm here to help you improve your legal English. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to hit the subscribe button below this video so that you get notified every time I publish a new lesson. So now, let's get started. Number 1, to commit a crime. This means to do something that is considered illegal under the law, to do a crime, except we say to commit a crime. An example sentence is, the defendant was found guilty of committing a serious crime. Note that we can also say commit and then the specific crime. We can name the crime. For example, the defendant was found guilty of committing murder. The accountant was convicted of committing fraud. Number 2, to report a crime. What does this mean? This means to inform the authorities, such as the police, about a crime. Example sentences are, the witness went to the police station to report the crime she had witnessed. Note that we can also say report and then the specific crime or the illegal activity. For example, HMRC, His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, which is the UK tax authority, reported the fraudulent activity to the police after uncovering evidence of tax evasion during their investigation. Number 3, to accuse someone of committing a crime. This means to allege that a person has committed an unlawful act. It is often used synonymously with to charge someone with committing a crime, which we will look at later, but it can also be used before someone is charged, when someone is reporting a crime, or when somebody is saying that, I think you did something illegal. That is accusing someone. Let's look at some examples. The defendant is accused of committing a number of crimes. We can, again, say to accuse someone of committing the specific crime or the illegal activity. For example, my client has been accused of committing drug trafficking and is awaiting trial. We can also say to accuse someone of, and then without saying committing, we can directly state the illegal activity. For example, my client's girlfriend has accused him of abusing her. Number 4, to arrest a suspect. This means to detain a person suspected of committing a crime under lawful authority. Usually, it's the police who are stopping a person and taking them into detention in the police station. Example sentences are, the police arrested the suspect at the airport as he tried to leave the country. Next example, the suspect was arrested yesterday afternoon and taken to the local police station. Note that you can replace suspect with a person's name, or of course my client. For example, my client was arrested yesterday, or for example, Joe Bloggs was arrested yesterday. Number 5, to conduct or carry out an investigation. This means to examine the details of a case to gather evidence to support the belief that the suspect committed the crime. We're looking into whether the suspect committed the crime. Usually the investigation is carried out by the police or a specialist authority dealing with more complex crimes. Examples are, the Serious Fraud Office is carrying out an investigation into suspected corruption at a multinational aviation company. The police are conducting an investigation into the activity of a number of organised criminal gangs operating in London. Number 6. We're halfway through because there are 12 of these in total. Number 6, to enter and search a premises, property, or business premises. What does this mean? This means to enter onto a property and to carry out a search, to search that property of a premises. A premises in this sense means a location, usually an office or a building, in order to collect evidence as part of an ongoing, a continuing and in-progress investigation. These searches are carried out by enforcement agencies, usually the police. Some example sentences. The police entered and searched the college premises, suspecting the college of having committed immigration offences. Note that when these searches are unannounced, they can be referred to as conducting or carrying out search and seizure or dawn raids. So if you work in anti-competition law or perhaps in white-collar crime, you might be familiar with the concept of dawn raids. These are those types of searches conducted usually by the police in the early hours of the morning. Number 7, to seize property. This means to take items by the enforcement authorities. So the enforcement authorities are taking items. Usually we're talking about the police taking items as a result of suspected criminal activity. They think that you've done something wrong, so they take property. Let's look at some examples. Police entered the premises and seized a computer and documents as part of the money laundering investigation. Customs officials seized assets worth millions, including luxury cars, during the investigation into smuggling. Note that you can say property, or, as you've seen in those examples, you can say directly the specific goods that were seized. Number 8, to question a witness. This is where you formally ask a witness questions to gather information about a crime. This is usually done by the police as part of their investigation. An example sentence is, the police questioned the witness about what he saw at the crime scene. Number 9, to caution a suspect. This is to formally warn a suspect that their statements may be used as evidence in court. In England, the police caution typically reads, you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. An example sentence is, the officer cautioned the suspect before commencing the police interview. Next, we've got number 10, which is related to that previous collocation. This one is to interview a suspect under caution. This is to formally ask a suspect questions after reading the caution. So the interviewing police officer will read the caution to the suspect, and then afterwards the police officer will question that suspect in order to gather evidence for the investigation, and what is used in that interview could potentially be relied on in court. Here are some examples. The police interviewed the suspect under caution regarding his suspected involvement in the crime. My client is currently being interviewed under caution and seeks my assistance. Number 11, we're almost there. This is the penultimate phrase, to detain a suspect at the police station. This means to hold the suspect in custody at a police station. They are there. They must stay there. This is usually done as part of the investigation process when the suspect is being interviewed. Examples are, the suspect was detained at the police station for 24 hours while the police conducted the interview. I was able to advise my client on the phone while he was detained at the police station. And finally, number 12, to charge the suspect with a crime. This means to formally accuse the suspect of committing a specific crime. It's usually the police that do this in England. However, more complex crimes require the decision to charge a suspect to be carried out, to be taken by the Crown Prosecution Service. This is a really formal procedure. It's a specific thing. To charge the suspect is when we are formally accusing the suspect of committing the specific crime. This starts the judicial process, meaning that there will be a trial. We don't just think that the suspect could have committed the crime. We've got a lot of evidence that could lead to a successful prosecution. Examples are: the suspect was charged with burglary after his fingerprints were found on furniture at the scene. My client, a mobile phone provider company, has been charged with corporate manslaughter over the deaths of several employees. So in both these situations, we would be going to trial. Next, there would be a trial. So I hope you've been listening. Let's do a quick quiz. I'm going to give you some definitions. You are going to guess the correct collocation. Number 1, to formally accuse the suspect of committing a specific crime. This starts the judicial process, meaning that there will be a trial. Number 2, to formally ask a suspect questions after reading the caution by the police. Number 3, to do something that is considered illegal under the law. Number 4, to examine the details of a case to gather evidence to support the belief that the suspect committed the crime. Number 5, to allege that a person has committed an unlawful act. Number 6, to hold the suspect in custody at a police station. Number 7, to formally warn a suspect that their statements may be used as evidence in court. Number 8, to inform the authorities, such as the police, about a crime. Number 9, to detain a person suspected of committing a crime under lawful authority, the police. This is where you're stopping the person and then detaining them. Number 10, to enter onto and carry out a search of a premises in order to collect evidence as part of an ongoing investigation. Number 11, to formally ask a witness questions to gather information about a crime. Number 12, to take items by the enforcement authorities, usually the police are doing that taking, as a result of suspected criminal activity. Let's check the answers. Number 1, to charge a suspect with a crime. Number 2, to interview a suspect under caution. Number 3, to commit a crime. Number 4, to carry out an investigation. Number 5, to accuse someone of committing a crime. Number 6, to detain a suspect at the police station. Number 7, to caution a suspect. Number 8, to report a crime. Number 9, to arrest a suspect. Number 10, to enter and search a premises or a property or a business premises. Number 11, to question a witness. And number 12, to seize property. How many did you get correct? Let me know in the comments below. So that brings me to the end of this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. If there are any legal English topics that you'd like me to do videos on, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to cover those in future lessons. Subscribe to my channel and join me on social media. All of the links will be in the description of the video. If you liked this lesson, hit the like button, share it with a friend, a colleague. It really helps me to grow my channel. Thank you. After watching this episode, you might be interested in some of my other videos related to criminal law. You can check those out here. So thanks for watching and see you next time.